Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week at everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news economic growth is under pressure worldwide. At their just-ended meeting in Bali, the IMF lowered its forecast for global economic growth in 2018 to 3.7%, down from 3.9% in their April estimate, which itself was a downgrade, saying that trade, tariff wars and instability in emerging markets is cooling many economies. By their estimates, they think China's growth will cool to 6.2% in 2019. US growth will cool to 2.5%. They say New Zealand will grow at 3.1% this year and 3% next. That compares with the latest RBNZ estimates of 2.5% this year and 3.3% in 2019. China's efforts to support its slowing economy is putting pressure on its currency. Their challenge is to keep the growth going without triggering capital outflows. To do that, they're letting the yuan depreciate, and it hit a 21-month low against the greenback yesterday, while at the same time engineering a very sharp rise in the cost of borrowing yuan in offshore markets, especially Hong Kong. That makes the cost of sudden large capital outflows much less attractive. The overnight cost of borrowing yuan in Hong Kong banks jumped to 5% from 1.7% a day earlier, hitting its highest level since May. The rate for 1 week lending reached 7.6% yesterday, up 4 basis points since last week and the highest level in over a year. To encourage trade, China is increasing the size of its tax rebates for exporters. Plus, it has announced an expanded program to clear away shantytowns and replace them with modern housing facilities. In Hong Kong, there are serious worries that a housing market crash is imminent there. Banks are slashing valuations in the face of a turn in the market, and industry insiders are claiming this will just make the turn faster and deeper. But of course, no bank wants to be behind the trend in declining market prices. A big reveal in the housing market reliance on confidence underpinning valuations is about to be exposed in Hong Kong. In Canada, housing starts slipped to a 19-month low. They were particularly weak in Vancouver, but were growing in Toronto. In Mexico, inflation topped 5% in September for the first time since March, establishing a new rising trend. And the German trade surplus grew larger than expected in August, but for all the wrong reasons. Exports actually fell when they were expected to rise, and imports slumped when a small rise was expected. Perhaps the data is seasonal because August is the height of their summer vacations, but it is a worrying sign for them nonetheless. The US Treasury 10-year yield is lower today at 3.21%. The 210 curve is now at 32 basis points. Gold is at $1,187 an ounce. That's a small $2 rise overnight. US oil prices are up by about $1 today and just over $75 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is just over $85 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is starting today at 64.6 US cents, having changed little since this time yesterday. On the cross rates, we're at 91.1 Aussie cents and 56.2 euro cents. That puts the TWI at 68.8 and just off its 3-year low. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.